Today we're gonna talk about how economists use theories and models to understand economic issues. Economists use theories and models as essential tools to understand, explain, and predict economic behavior. These models simplify complex real-world phenomena by focusing on the most critical relationships between variables. Just as scientists in other disciplines use models to analyze systems, economists build theoretical frameworks to interpret economic events. Theories provide a conceptual foundation, while models offer a structured representation of these concepts. By doing so, they help economists isolate cause and effect relationships. For example, a model may explore how a change in interest rates affects consumer spending. This simplification is necessary because the real economy involves countless variables interacting in complex ways. Models allow economists to hold some factors constant, ceteris paribus, to study specific effects. The ability to predict outcomes based on assumptions is key to testing and improving theories. Ultimately, these tools are central to both academic research and policymaking. Economic theories begin with assumptions about human behavior and market structures. These assumptions might include the idea that people act rationally, aiming to maximize their utility or profit. Based on these assumptions, economists develop hypotheses about how individuals and firms respond to incentives. These hypotheses are then incorporated into models, which can be tested against real-world data. If the data supports the model's predictions, the theory gains credibility. If not, economists may revise the assumptions or model structure. This process of refinement helps make economic theories more robust over time. Assumptions are not meant to be realistic in all aspects but should capture the core behavior of economic agents. For example, the assumption of perfect competition simplifies analysis, even if real markets deviate from it. The goal is not perfection, but usefulness in understanding trends and policy impacts. One of the most well-known economic models is the supply and demand model. This model explains how prices and quantities of goods and services are determined in a market. It shows the interaction between consumers, demand, and producers, supply, assuming all other factors remain constant. When demand increases or supply decreases, prices tend to rise, and vice versa. This model helps economists and policymakers understand price movements and predict outcomes from changes like taxes or subsidies. Though it simplifies many real-world elements, it to macroeconomic models, in contrast to microeconomic ones, focus on the economy as a whole. These models examine broad issues such as inflation, unemployment, GDP growth, and monetary policy. For instance, the IS-LM model illustrates the relationship between interest rates and output in the short run. It combines the goods market, IS curve, and money market, LM curve, to show equilibrium in the economy. Policymakers use such models to forecast the impact of fiscal and monetary decisions. For example, increasing government spending might shift the IS curve, boosting output and employment. These models rely on aggregated data and are often more complex due to the scale of variables involved. Yet, they still aim to isolate key relationships and offer insight into policy effects. Central banks and governments depend heavily on these tools. By simulating economic shocks or interventions, macro models guide real-world decision-making. Models can be theoretical or empirical, depending on their purpose and design. Theoretical models use logic and mathematics to derive conclusions from assumptions. These are often abstract but provide clarity on how certain mechanisms work. Empirical models, on the other hand, use real-world data to test hypotheses and estimate relationships. Economists employ statistical techniques like regression analysis to validate theories. For example, an empirical model might estimate the effect of education on income. If the data supports a strong correlation, it adds weight to human capital theory. Empirical analysis helps economists move beyond speculation and base conclusions on evidence. It also allows for the testing of multiple competing theories. This data-driven approach is crucial in applied economics. Governments and businesses use empirical models to guide investment and policy decisions. In sum, theory and data work hand in hand in economic modeling. Economists often face trade-offs when designing models, balancing simplicity and realism. A model that is too simple may overlook important factors, while a complex one might be too difficult to interpret or apply. The art of economic modeling lies in finding the right level of abstraction. For instance, including too many variables in a model can lead to overfitting, where the model describes past data well but fails to predict future trends. Conversely, an overly simplified model may give misleading conclusions. Economists constantly refine models to better reflect observed behavior while maintaining usability. They also consider the context in which a model will be applied. For example, Models used for forecasting inflation may differ from those analyzing environmental policy. Flexibility in modeling approaches is a strength of economic analysis. It enables tailored solutions for diverse economic issues. Good models strike a balance between precision and general applicability. Economic models are crucial in evaluating public policy. When governments consider new regulations or tax changes, economists use models to predict potential impacts. For example, a model might show how raising the minimum wage affects employment levels. By simulating different scenarios, economists provide insights into likely outcomes. This helps policymakers weigh costs and benefits before implementing decisions. Models also assist in understanding unintended consequences. For instance, a subsidy might increase consumption but also distort market signals. Evaluating such trade-offs is essential for sound policy design. Economists often present these findings through cost-benefit analysis, grounded in model-based projections. While no model can perfectly predict the future, they offer structured guidance. This reduces uncertainty and improves decision-making. Thus, economic models are indispensable in shaping effective, evidence-based policy. Behavioral economics has introduced new dimensions to traditional models by incorporating psychological factors. Classic economic models assume rational decision-making, but real people often behave differently. Behavioral models consider biases, heuristics, and social influences on economic decisions. For instance, people may overvalue immediate rewards over future ones, affecting savings behavior. Including such insights leads to more realistic and applicable models. These models are particularly useful in areas like health, finance, and consumer behavior. Policymakers use them to design nudges that encourage better choices without restricting freedom. For example, automatic enrollment in retirement plans increases participation rates. By adjusting assumptions, behavioral models bridge the gap between theory and reality. This evolution of economic modeling enhances its relevance and effectiveness. It also reflects a broader trend of interdisciplinary collaboration in economics. Technological advancements have significantly improved economists' ability to use models. With access to big data, machine learning, and powerful computing, modern economic models are more sophisticated than ever. These tools enable economists to analyze massive datasets and uncover subtle patterns. For instance, machine learning algorithms can improve forecasting accuracy in areas like stock markets or housing prices. Simulation-based models allow researchers to explore complex systems like global trade networks. Geographic Information Systems (GIS) can be used to model urban economics and regional development. Technology also facilitates real-time data analysis, enhancing responsiveness to economic events. Additionally, collaborative platforms and open-source tools democratize model development and validation. This leads to more transparent and reproducible research. As technology evolves, economic modeling continues to expand in capability and scope. It empowers economists to tackle increasingly complex questions with greater precision. In conclusion, theories and models are indispensable for economists in understanding economic issues. They provide structure, clarity, and predictive power in an otherwise complex and uncertain world. Whether analyzing individual behavior or macroeconomic trends, models help simplify reality for better insight. They guide research, inform public policy, and support business decisions. While no model is perfect, continuous refinement and testing ensure they remain useful tools. As new data and methods emerge, models evolve to incorporate more accurate representations of the economy. The integration of behavioral insights and technology further enhances their relevance. Ultimately, economic theories and models offer a practical framework for addressing real-world challenges. They help societies make informed choices that promote growth, stability, and well-being. The discipline of economics depends on these tools to fulfill its purpose, understanding how people use resources and make decisions.